You wake up at 3 in the morning. The house is completely quiet. The world outside is dark, but your mind is already racing. Your mouth feels incredibly dry. Your feet might be experiencing that faint, uncomfortable tingling. And as you lie there staring at the ceiling, you feel a familiar, sinking dread. You followed all the rules yesterday. You skipped the sugary dessert after dinner. You had a sensible meal of lean protein and vegetables. You even took a walk around the block, despite your knees aching more than usual. You did everything right. Yet deep down, you already know what that little blood sugar meter is going to say when you test yourself in a few hours. It is going to be high. Again. And that realization brings a wave of exhaustion before the day has even started. If this sounds like your reality, I want you to take a deep breath and listen closely, because you are not failing. You are fighting a silent, invisible battle in the dark, and you have likely been entirely unaware of the hidden culprit orchestrating these morning spikes. It is completely natural to assume that high morning blood sugar is the result of something you ate before bed. But for most of us over the age of 60, the food we eat is only half the story. The real issue is about what your liver is doing behind the scenes while you are fast asleep. Around 3 or 4 in the morning, your body begins preparing you to wake up. To do this, it releases a surge of waking hormones, primarily cortisol, growth hormone, and epinephrine. This natural biological process is known as the dawn phenomenon. For a younger person in their 20s or 30s, the body effortlessly releases a matching surge of insulin to keep everything perfectly balanced. But as we age, our biology shifts. Decades of wear and tear, genetic predispositions, and natural aging cause our cells to become a bit stubborn. They begin to resist that insulin. So when your waking hormones surge, your liver essentially panics. It believes you are starving and need emergency energy to start the day, so it dumps a massive load of stored sugar, called glycogen, directly into your bloodstream. Suddenly, you wake up with numbers that make you feel as though you sneaked into the kitchen and ate a whole box of glazed donuts at midnight. But what if I told you that you have the power to tell your liver to stand down? What if you could actively lower your blood sugar, improve your cellular insulin sensitivity, and protect your delicate nerves and blood vessels, all while you are wrapped in your blankets, deep in dreamland? Today, we are going to explore exactly how to do that. We are going to walk through 4 miracle drinks that perform this very metabolic magic. I want to be clear right now. These are not internet gimmicks, and they are not expensive supplements. These are scientifically backed, deeply researched, simple elixirs that you can prepare right in your own kitchen for mere pennies. By the end of our conversation today, you will have a clear step-by-step nighttime routine designed to help you wake up feeling refreshed, empowered, and looking at numbers on your meter that you can actually be proud of. Before we dive into these 4 nighttime lifesavers, I want to take a quick second to welcome you to our community. If you want more of these science-backed health secrets that traditional doctors simply rarely have the time to explain during a rushed 15-minute visit, please consider subscribing to our channel. We share the kind of senior health tips that can truly change the trajectory of your aging process. And since we are all in this together, I would love to know, where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It always amazes me to see how far our little health family reaches across the globe. Now let us get into the remedies. Let us start our journey with a surprisingly simple kitchen staple that has likely been sitting in the back of your pantry for months, quietly waiting to perform a metabolic miracle. I am talking about a properly diluted nighttime elixir of apple cider vinegar. Now hold on. Before you wrinkle your nose at the thought of drinking vinegar right before hitting the pillow, let us look at the sheer biological power of acetic acid, which is the primary active compound found in this golden fermented liquid. When we consume acetic acid, it essentially acts like a master traffic cop in your digestive system. Its first job is to significantly slow down the rate at which your stomach empties its contents into your intestines, a process known as gastric emptying. But its second, and far more important job for your nighttime routine, is altering the exact way your liver processes and produces glucose while you sleep. A landmark, highly respected study published in the journal Diabetes Care, which is an official journal of the American Diabetes Association, found that patients with type 2 diabetes who consume just 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar along with a 1 ounce piece of cheese right before bed, experienced a reduction in their fasting blood sugar the very next morning by a staggering 4 to 6%. That is a massive, biologically significant shift from such a tiny, low-cost intervention. To really understand what this means for your body, I want you to imagine your delicate blood vessels as a network of plumbing pipes. Over the years, chronic high blood sugar causes these pipes to slowly rust and stiffen, which leads to the poor circulation, neuropathy, and high blood pressure that so many seniors struggle with. Apple cider vinegar acts like a gentle, natural solvent running through those pipes while you sleep, clearing away the chemical rust and helping your muscles absorb that rogue sugar before it can do any more damage to your system. Now, to make this work safely and effectively for you, you must never drink it straight. Taking a shot of raw vinegar can burn your esophagus and severely damage your tooth enamel, which we absolutely want to avoid. Instead, you need to protect your teeth by mixing 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, specifically the kind with the cloudy, web-like substance floating in it known as the mother, into a tall glass of warm or room temperature water. The mother contains beneficial bacteria and enzymes that support your gut health, which is an added bonus for your immune system. I highly recommend sipping this mixture through a reusable straw about 30 minutes before you brush your teeth and head to bed. If the taste is simply too tart for you, you can squeeze a little bit of fresh lemon juice into the glass to mask the acidity. It is a tiny, 2-minute habit that yields incredible, measurable victories the moment you wake up. Moving right along to our second nighttime healer, we have a wonderfully sweet, warming spice that possesses the astonishing ability to completely trick your body into behaving as if it just received a fresh dose of insulin. We are talking about a comforting cup of pure Ceylon cinnamon tea. Notice that I emphasize the word Ceylon, and not the standard cassia cinnamon you usually find in the cheap plastic shakers in the grocery store baking aisle. This distinction is absolutely critical for your health, especially as a senior. Standard cassia cinnamon contains high levels of a compound called coumarin, which can actually be toxic to your liver if consumed in large amounts daily. We are trying to heal the liver, not burden it further. True Ceylon cinnamon, often referred to as true cinnamon, contains virtually no coumarin, but is overwhelmingly rich in a potent compound called cinnamaldehyde. This extraordinary compound works on a microscopic, cellular level to push stubborn glucose out of your bloodstream and drive it directly into your muscle cells where it can be burned as energy. Let us look at the hard, undeniable evidence behind this spice. Researchers published a massive, comprehensive meta-analysis in the highly regarded Annals of Family Medicine, where they reviewed multiple clinical trials. They definitively concluded that the daily consumption of cinnamon reduced fasting plasma glucose levels in patients by an average of 18 to 29%. Let that sink in for a moment. A reduction of up to 29%. That is the exact kind of dramatic, life-altering result that multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies spend decades trying to achieve with synthetic pills. And yet, here it is, growing naturally on the inner bark of an evergreen tree in Sri Lanka. Think of your body's aging cells like a row of heavy doors with old, rusty locks. The insulin your pancreas produces is the key to these doors, but because of age, inflammation, and years of carbohydrate consumption, the key simply will not turn in the lock anymore. The sugar is left stranded in the blood hallway, causing damage. Cinnamon acts exactly like a generous spray of WD-40, deeply lubricating those cellular locks so that your natural insulin can effortlessly open the doors and sweep the damaging sugar out of your circulation. To harness this immense power, you want to steep 1 heaping teaspoon of high-quality organic Ceylon cinnamon powder, or gently simmer 2 whole Ceylon cinnamon sticks in hot water for about 10 to 15 minutes. You want the water to turn a deep, rich amber color. Drinking this fragrant, deeply comforting tea about an hour before sleep not only satisfies those nagging, late-night cravings for a sweet dessert, but it actively repairs your broken insulin signaling while your head is resting on the pillow. I know that making changes in our 60s, 70s, and beyond can sometimes feel overwhelming. I completely understand. When you are already dealing with stiff joints in the morning, general fatigue, or just the mental exhaustion of trying to manage your health every single day, the thought of starting a new regimen can seem like climbing a mountain. But you need to know that you are doing an absolutely incredible job just by being here, listening, and being willing to learn. You are taking your power back. If you are finding these simple, actionable tips useful, and if you are feeling even a little bit of hope today, please give this video a quick thumbs up. It tells the algorithm to share this vital information with other seniors who might be struggling in the dark, thinking they are out of options. Together, we can help so many people. Now, let us explore our third miracle drink, which addresses a completely different yet equally destructive root cause of high morning blood sugar, chronic, lingering stress, and fragmented, poor quality sleep. We are pouring a steaming golden cup of pure chamomile tea. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You probably view chamomile as nothing more than a mild, old-fashioned folk remedy, something your grandmother drank to settle a nervous stomach. But its impact on your complex endocrine system is profound, highly measurable, and scientifically documented by modern medicine. As we age, our sleep architecture fundamentally changes. We spend far less time in the deep, restorative, slow-wave stages of sleep. This shallow sleeping signals the body that something is wrong, prompting it to pump out a slow, steady stream of excess cortisol throughout the night. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and its main evolutionary job is to raise your blood sugar so you have the energy to fight or flee from danger. If your cortisol is high all night, your blood sugar will be high all morning. It is a biological guarantee. This is where our golden flower steps in. A groundbreaking, meticulously controlled study published in the prestigious Journal of Endocrinological Investigation followed patients with type 2 diabetes who consumed chamomile tea 3 times a day, including 1 cup right before bed for a period of 8 weeks. The researchers discovered something phenomenal. The patients drinking the chamomile not only experienced drastically improved, deeper sleep quality, but their blood work showed significantly decreased levels of HbA1c and fasting serum insulin compared to the control group who drank regular water. The secret lies in a brilliant little antioxidant found abundantly in chamomile called apigenin. Apigenin physically binds to specific receptors in your brain called GABA receptors, which forcefully shuts down the cortisol cascade. Imagine taking a heavy, warm, incredibly soft weighted blanket and gently draping it over your frazzled, sparking, overworked nervous system. That is exactly what chamomile does to your nighttime cortisol levels. When your stress hormones finally drop, your liver receives the all-clear signal, and it stops panic dumping sugar into your blood. To get the absolute maximum biological benefit, do not just weekly dunk a tea bag into lukewarm water. You need to brew a strong medicinal cup using 2 high-quality organic chamomile tea bags or a generous scoop of loose-leaf chamomile flowers. Pour boiling water over them and let it steep, firmly covered with a saucer, for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Covering the mug is crucial because it traps the volatile, healing essential oils from evaporating into the air. Drink it slowly while you read a book or listen to calming music in dim lighting before bed. You are not just winding down for the night, you are actively, chemically commanding your liver to rest and recover. Our 4th and final nighttime elixir is based on an ancient therapeutic secret that modern science has finally validated, and it involves a tiny, unassuming golden seed that packs a truly massive metabolic punch. I am talking about the phenomenal power of fenugreek seed water. Fenugreek seeds have been used for centuries in traditional Ayurvedic medicine, but today, endocrinologists are looking at them with immense respect. These hard little seeds are absolutely loaded with a very specific, highly viscous type of soluble fiber known as galactomannan. When you soak fenugreek seeds in water, they release this incredible fiber, which fundamentally alters the mechanical way your digestive tract handles any residual carbohydrates left over from your dinner or evening snacks. Let us turn to the clinical data to see exactly how powerful this is. A comprehensive, long-term clinical trial published in the highly respected European Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that incorporating fenugreek into the daily routine significantly reduced fasting blood sugar levels and vastly improved long-term glucose tolerance in subjects with diagnosed type 2 diabetes. The researchers noted that this happened primarily because the galactomannan fiber creates a thick, gel-like substance in the stomach, dramatically slowing down the rate of carbohydrate digestion and glucose absorption into the bloodstream. I want you to picture a gentle, microscopic, highly absorbent net spreading throughout your stomach and small intestines. As the food from your evening meal breaks down, this net captures the excess sugar molecules, trapping them and preventing them from rushing into your bloodstream all at once. By drinking this fenugreek water before bed, you are ensuring that any late-night digestion happens at a remarkably slow, perfectly controlled crawl, rather than causing a dangerous, rapid spike while you sleep. Preparing this drink takes a little bit of forethought, but the actual process is incredibly easy and entirely hands-off. Take 1 heaping tablespoon of raw fenugreek seeds and drop them into a standard glass of warm, filtered water. You want to let them soak for at least 3 to 4 hours in the evening, or you can even leave them soaking overnight on the kitchen counter if you plan to drink the mixture the following night. As they soak, you will notice the water turning a slightly golden color as the soluble fiber is released. Right before you go to bed, you have 2 options. You can either use a small strainer to remove the seeds and simply drink the slightly nutty maple-scented water, or if you want the absolute maximum blood sugar lowering fiber benefit, you can leave the seeds in the glass and gently chew them. Because they have been soaked, they will be wonderfully soft and easy on your teeth. Whichever method you choose, you are consuming a powerful, scientifically proven protective shield for your entire cardiovascular system. Let us take a quiet moment to look at the powerful natural arsenal you now hold right at your fingertips. You do not have to be a helpless victim of the morning dawn phenomenon anymore. You have the acidic brilliance of apple cider vinegar to slow your gastric emptying and increase your overnight insulin sensitivity. You have the warming comfort of Ceylon cinnamon tea to lubricate those rusty cellular locks and drive sugar into your muscles. You have the calming embrace of chamomile tea to physically crush the stress hormones that trigger your liver to dump glucose. And you have the ancient wisdom of fenugreek water to cast a protective, fibrous net over your digestion. These are not difficult, painful, or restrictive lifestyle overhauls. We are not talking about starving yourself or running marathons with aching knees. We are talking about comforting, incredibly simple evening habits that gently tell your aging body that it is safe, that it is protected, and that it has permission to heal. Listen to me carefully, because this is the most important thing I will say to you today. Getting older does not mean you simply have to surrender your health. It absolutely does not mean you are destined to wake up feeling utterly exhausted, dealing with the sharp sting of nerve pain in your feet, or living your golden years in constant underlying fear of a plastic blood sugar monitor. Your body, right now, today, is still an incredibly resilient, miraculously adaptive machine. Even in your 60s, your 70s, or your 80s, your biology will eagerly respond to the right signals. You still have so much control over how your story unfolds. You deserve to wake up with vibrant, sustained energy. You deserve to fully enjoy your retirement, to have the stamina to play with your grandchildren, to travel without worry, and to fiercely maintain your independence for decades to come. I want to challenge you, as a friend who cares about your future, to try just one of these miracle drinks tonight. You do not have to do all 4. Just pick the single one that sounds the most appealing to your taste buds, or the one you already have the ingredients for in your kitchen, and start right there. Build that one tiny habit, because your health, your daily vitality, and your long-term peace of mind are absolutely worth fighting for. Now I want to hear directly from you. Which of these 4 drinks are you going to try first tonight? Are you going to brave the vinegar, or are you looking forward to the cinnamon? Let me know down in the comments right now. I love reading your commitments. If you learned something truly valuable today, and if you feel empowered to take control of your mornings, please hit that like button. And do not forget to subscribe, because we have so much more life-changing science to share with you, and your continuing health is always our top priority. Sleep incredibly well tonight. Stay strong in your journey, and I will see you in our next conversation.